And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans, droids, and all you clone troopers out there that are hearing weird numbers inside your mind. Welcome to today's video where, holy cow, we are starting off the week right, my friend. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. If you're watching this and it's not a weekend, hope your life is going pretty darn well, because today, my friends, I'm going to show you a trick that literally found millions upon millions of extra points sitting in between the couch cushions, and I'm going to be able to max out the highest tier in terms of the personal reward track. And this might be a big help to you guys out there if you guys happen to invest in all the dark side clones and the Grand Moff Tarkin shenanigans. So as you guys know, the other day I put a guide out, and pretty much everything in that video stays the same. This is going to be more of a high-level strategy for those that have the dark side clone troopers unlocked. But I know you guys maybe spent $1 or $2 on those characters, right? I think the dark side clones they were mildly successful, right? Yeah, that's probably a bit of an understatement. Basically, what's going on today, I'm doing the last 2 attempts that I have here. Currently, I'm at 8.1 million. I saved my Tarkin stuff for last. The problem is, there's not really a 5th team, right? Because the pirates aren't really around yet. There's no Jill Hondo. Well, there might not even be a need for Jill Hondo if you got Tarkin and the dark side clones. And again, you could use them together, but there is a really important trick I want to show you that I learned today that essentially lets you split Tarkin into 2 teams. Do the Tarkin 2-man for a max score run and your clone leftovers. That's going to be a lot of points. That's what, like 7.2 million damage from these 2 teams alone, instead of just doing, let's say, a 3.6 million. I want to make sure I show the chain of command where I learned this from. This is where I learned it from. I say this because anytime I make a video on this, like, no, he learned it from me, Arnold. You're giving him all the credit. I'm just showing where I learned it from. Silver Majra.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
I don't know, but you know, I would recommend subscribing. The first 2 videos they have on the channel, absolute bangers. Like, there's not a lot of Galaxy's videos that changed my life. This is one of them. And I heard from his video he's got more raid videos coming. I don't know if it's more of the same stuff we already talked about or more unique stuff like this to help maximize your roster. Anyways, I'm dropping a sub. Feel free to do so as well. There will be a link down below to watch those videos on your own. To go more in depth on the strategy, I want to kind of talk about it from my perspective. I want to remind you guys of a very important mechanic. The dark side clone, whenever an enemy is inflicted Order 66, all allies gain 100%, 225% offense for 1 turn, and additional 75% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. And Lord Vader gains 20 stacks of execute. That turn meter is going to be highly important for the second run. I want to bring it up now because you're going to be like, whoa, where's all this turn meter coming from? It's coming from right here. Oh, before we get into that too, I just want to show you where we are right now. I had 11.1 million. We got the max crate for the guild. Cool. I think with today, I should be able to hit the highest tier on this, and I don't need Jill Honda or any of that pirate shenanigans, right? Anyways, let me get back into the action. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Tarkin 2-man because it is super easy. I didn't have to do too much crazy remodding. However, unfortunately for the dark side clone troopers, remember back in the day, the Crate Dragon raid, Endor raid, there was a lot of remodding needed. I think if you want the best run possible, you are going to need some remods for a couple, not just this, but some of the other teams that we talked about. So moving some mods around is going to be something that you might have to remember how to do because, well, we didn't have to do too much of it for Naboo raid. With the Tarkin here, basically all I had to focus on, you really, this again at the highest tier, you really want to make sure that special offense is as high as possible. If you're at 13,500, you're in a good spot. Rocking a potency set for this situation with offense primaries. Same thing here, offense primary on a potency set. And then what I would recommend doing as you're applying mods, make sure you can find some as high of a secondary offense percentage, flat offense, maybe even potency, to really make sure you're dialing this up as much as possible. If you're hitting 13,500, you're in a good spot. Speed, I haven't found to be super important, but you want something on it. 289, again, it's not like crazy fast. And I didn't do any remodding for my Scorch. Same stuff I rock inside a Grand Arena, Territory Wars. Basically just protection, you know, health, you know, I got a little bit of speed on him, but nothing that's like blazing fast. And it worked perfectly fine for me. I actually found it a little bit nicer having Scorch being slower than Tarkin. I think that's a little bit different than how I modded versus the video I just recommended to you guys. He had Scorch pretty fast. I didn't need to do any remods on Scorch. Very simple, kind of reminiscent to the tier 0, whatever, tier 1, Tarkin solo. More or less, I'm glad I get to experience this on the higher tiers. I was like, man, it's one of those situations, maybe having less gear is better because it was more fun. Anyways, super simple, barely an inconvenience. What you're gonna do is you're gonna drop a basic on Oppo with Tarkin. We're gonna come around using his other special later. And as you see, I like Scorch slower because Scorch was able to cleanse himself off the assist. So I'm just gonna do stable bulwark right now. Let's bulk him up. Important because now we got Order 66. to apply on Appa because he dispelled the taunt off of Scorch, applying Order 66, and we got all those benefits that we discussed. Now, we're going to drop Intimidation Tactics, get all the debuffs, defense down. We're going to drop this AoE, and hopefully we get some good stuff here. And as you can see, look at all those exposes ready to rock and roll. And all we got to do is just wait for a turn, and bon voyage, a goodbye. Yeah, you can see how I'm gonna like this here. Give it up to my boy Tarkin. Yeah. All right. Now at this point, we're just cruising. Now we drop that Dire Fortitude, and I'm gonna start using basics on Tarkin because why? He's gonna be stacking his potency. So we're just gonna do basic, just keep saving all of our specials for next round. Basics, beautiful, just do another basic, and then Scorch. We're gonna rescue someone. Again, feels really weird that we have Darkside Clone Trooper saving Jedi, but you know what? It's just how it's gonna go. Anyways, I'm not complaining. Let's go drop another taunt. Hopefully they do a buff dispel so we get that Order 66 online. Again, at this point, we're gonna be in a good spot because we're gonna drop that. Excellent work, right? They're gonna do that. Beautiful. And now we're gonna drop that AoE again, lining us a bunch of exposes ready to rock and roll. We're just chilling, and we're gonna be goodbye, nerds. Now we're gonna do a basic over here, and again, start stacking up those basics with Tarkin. Super easy. This is honestly one of my easiest teams, I think. I actually think this is easier than Jedi Master Mace Windu. I'm not even kidding, and he's totally fine, too. Same thing, we're gonna drop the taunt. Cool stuff here, right? I love this. I'm so happy I get to experience it, because, again, I showed you guys the lower tier strategies. Like, man, I wish you could do this at the higher tier. Yeah, boom, we're in the money, honey. And there we go. Goodbye. Get these losers out of here. There you go. Let's free those pesky Jedi. Drop the basics in here, and then drop another one, and we should be good to go. Super easy. Again, the trick is here. Again, I don't think Scorch was super important to the remods. Just, again, don't even need him fast. The biggest thing was Tarkin. 13,500 seems to be the sweet spot for, again, the highest tier. I wish I could scale down Tarkin, like bring him to like Relic 3, then Relic 5, then Relic 7, so I could see what's that sweet spot for the other tiers. I'm showing you at the highest tier. Strive for the highest offense you can, and then go from there. We're going to lock that in, and basically right there alone, before I get into the other battle, I already beat my previous record, which was 11.1 million. Now, again, if I just do this next tier, or this next battle, which is going to be a little bit more complicated, a little bit more RNG, and you guys might not like it, and I completely understand. But look, just from that alone, we already beat our previous score, and now we're about to do the highest tier again, but with leftover Darkside clones. Jumping like, what? Yeah, that was the same reaction I had when that video was kind of being circled. I'm like, wait, what? That's insane. 7.2 million just from one team? Insane, baby. However, what you're gonna need, I'm gonna tell you straight up, a lot of patience. This is probably going to be the most hated run because of how much RNG is involved compared to everything else that we've done today and the previous day. So many steps that can just go wrong from just a luck standpoint, and you might be doing a lot of attempts over and over and over again. But it feels good when you do it because you just got yourself a lot of points. But before we do that, we got to talk about the mods before we talk about the strategy. CX2, you need them to be fast, plain and simple. We need speed for days, and this is where you're probably get the remod every time this raid comes around. I had to take off my Commander Tano mods. You want them with as much speed as possible. Health primaries are ideal too if you can get them. But most important thing is having a speed. I have at 348. The higher you can get, the better. You really want to be over that 340 threshold. I know. Again, this is the highest tier. We need the highest mods, right? Why he needs to be fast? Well, somewhere in this long kid here is it focused and determined. Yes, when he hits an enemy 3 times in a row, you're going to get Order 66. And what does that do? As we showed with the event modifier, 100% Terminator. Basically, we need to keep pushing Terminator in my team's veins. Next up, Disguised Clone Trooper, similar modding to Tarkin. We need high offense. You want the speed to be, 310, 315 is what I was told. I have 314. It gets the job done. But you need a lot of special offense. I'm at 13, just shy of 13,500. More the merrier. Again, offense primaries is the way to go. Crit chance sets are also great. Try to find offense secondaries, whether percentages or flat offense is going to help you get to those key thresholds that you need. What's important with this dude? Well, we need to make sure we're getting lots and lots of damage, but furthermore, we need Order 66 through the basic to feed turn meter. So we'll be able to show that in our strategy in a second. Oppo, a little bit different than your usual modding. So again, it's gonna be Crate Dragon Raid Endor like, where you're gonna have to just do your temporary remods for this raid. So save a mod loadout. Lots of potency on this guy. I got a crit damage triangle. It's fine. But the most important thing is speed and potency. And it's incredibly important that you get above that 100% potency threshold. Higher the better. I'm at 120%. I wish I can get even higher because it's going to minimize your RNG, and you want to be in that 330-ish speed ballpark. So you got to try to find that balance where you don't want to be under 100%. You need to be over it for potency, but you also need some good speed. So again, if I focus all potency, I can get that number higher, but my speed would be about 20 lower. We need him going before the Sky's Clone Trooper goes because we need to get the stun. And that's why we high potency. We're trying to minimize it. This is kind of era battle modding like in a way. So let's just put it into action. Let's go into it, and you're going to just see how many attempts it's going to take me to do this. I don't want to cut it out because I might get the I'm probably going to get the perfect run, aren't I? Let's just see what happens. But I'm just telling you, a lot of attempts could be had. So, first and foremost, you need to have CX2 focus, fire, pretty much all the time in wave 1 until towards the end. Always focus on Oppo because he's going to use Oppo as the punching bag to keep pushing Order 66 in my veins. We're going to drop a disarm on him to start. Now there are 3 steps of RNG. The third one's probably the hardest. First and foremost, we need to get stunned on one of these Nightfall Troopers. Doesn't matter. We need to get stunned from this ability. But then the challenging part is getting a random Darkside Clone Trooper ally support to assist. That's the biggest problem. Because we need to get the Sky's Clone Trooper to assist and put him under stealth. If CX2 assists, just restart. Let's see. Can I get that perfect start here? Restart. Why? Because I should have been under stealth right now. I should have had another stun that I could throw on this Nightfall Trooper. So unfortunately, let's just go back and try to get... If they were able to let Oppo target the clone you want to assist, this would pretty much eliminate all RNG. However, because it's random, we're going to have a bit of a problem. So we're just going to roll it. We're going to move a little bit faster now that I started at the beginning, right? Disarm on Oppo. We're going to assist on one of the Nightfall Troopers. Restart. Roll it again, baby. You know what? While we're here, I think we're going to need to roll it again a lot. Play the song, Gary. Thank you so much. Let's keep going until we get that right opening that I can show you the third RNG step. As you're seeing, the first step is getting stunned. No problems, really. Disarm. Oppo. Beautiful. Stun. We got it. This guy's Clone Trooper assisted. We had the stun, so when he assists on the stun character, we went under stealth, and now we have Ruse. Now with this basic ability, if we had Ruse on us, we get to stun the opposing enemy, which is irresistible. So now we're going to get a second stun. We're in a good spot, but now here comes the third step of RNG. You need to assist with this Nightfall Trooper spawnable on one of these clones that are stunned. You need to get this guy's Clone Trooper to assist again, because why? If this guy's Clone Trooper assists on a stunned enemy, or just hits a stunned enemy with the basic, you get Order 66, and if I do get it, watch all the Terminator that pumps in my veins. Let's see what happens. Restart.
Roll it again.
All right, same deal. Listen, we're going to keep rolling until it rolls. There we go. All right, stun. There we go. We got it. Stun the other guy. Beautiful. Get me Disguised Clone Trooper to assist. We got it. Those are your 3 steps to RNG. And look, we were just about to lose our next turn, right? The enemy was about to take turns. But look, we have all the Terminator on my side now. Now we're in business. It's CX2's turn. What do? You keep targeting Oppo because on the third hit, we're going to, CX2's third hit, we're going to get Order 66 and push another round of Terminator. Now, we're going to do the AoE with Oppo, targeting Fox. We're going to start working down Fox at this point. All right. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to drop another Order 66 with this guy's Clone Trooper. And again, watch the order of operations. We're just going to, boom, jump the Terminator line. Excellent work. Now we're going to keep going over here, finish up the Fox. It was funny. In the video I did the other day, I kept yelling Fox so much. People were like, are you dropping the F? I was like, no. I keep mixing up all the clones here. Important. We're going to get Order 66 now. This is the third time CX2 is going. Turn meters in my veins. Beautiful. Let's go take care of this. All right, Fox is out of the way. All right, at this point, you can do a few things. We're under stealth. We have Ruse. I could just go ahead and stun someone. I could do Dire Fortitude. I think what I'm going to do here is the following. I am going to take the stun for right now. All right, CX2, you do not want to use Dire Fortitude on his turn because he needs to hit Oppo and keep giving me Terminator. Check it. Boom. We get Terminator. Now, with the Nightfall Troopers' turn, I'll throw down Dire Fortitude because we want to start building up our offense. All right, same deal. We want CX2. Boom. Keep hitting him. Terminator's moving in my veins. Now we're going to start working on taking out these fools. All right, let's see if we can take out you, take out this guy. All right, so we have the right RNG. Now there's kind of an important trick here. We're winding down the first wave. Now, unlike previous teams I've shown where I say after you get through the first wave, you're pretty much just rolling at that point. Not quite with this. All right, let's get our Terminator under check real quick. All right. Cool, we got our Terminator ready to rock and roll. All right, so this is very important. You need to make sure you have the perfect setup, or as close as the perfect, to get into that second wave. Essentially, what we got to do, we want to kill off Oppo when we have about 3 clones as close to 0% Terminator as possible. But so for right now, what we're going to do, we're just going to start building up our stacks of rescue on Lord Vader. So we got to get that taken care of first. Hit the Oppo, the build-up Terminator. Boom. All right, we're going to do a basic here. And now we're going to use Lord Vader as the punching bag at this point. So right now, it's too early to kill off Oppo because why? Too many clones at 100% Terminator. We want to kill off Oppo when we have 3 clones at 0% Terminator. So we're going to start doing basic over here. All right. Now, I'm not going to hit Oppo because if I keep hitting it, I'm getting Terminator. So again, we want to have low Terminator. So I'm going to do a basic here because right now we have 2 clones at 0% Terminator. I need 1 more. And I think that should be it. Beautiful. We have the setup. As you can see, we have 3 clones at 0% Terminator. Now, this is when we kill Oppo. Super important. Don't rush this. You got to get that setup ready to go. That basic should finish it. Excellent. Now we're going to do rescue because look at all this Terminator. I'm going into the next wave. It's great. Rescue, that's the perfect setup. Now, you're not out of the woods yet. It can get complicated. All right. So at this point, we could do a few things. I could just do AA. Let's do the buff spells. You don't want an AoE here. Let's go ahead. We're going to target this guy, butter him up, because next turn we're going to do AoE with the Sky's Clone Trooper, because hopefully Dire Fortitude boosted up our damage a little bit. So we're going to do this. There we go. Let's just go for it. AoE. Let's do it. That's usually what I do. Just got to trust. And now we're in the money. So now we're just going to start working on that Lord Vader. We're going into the final wave now. It's kind of hard to set this up with the perfect Terminator. This is okay. We got, I wish we had a better situation here, but let's go. All right, that's our second to last one. We have 1 more to go. All right, let's see if we can try to nuke out these Nightfall Troopers here. There we go. It's 1 down. Now we might start losing people. That's fine. Give me some counters if I can. Boom, we got 1 counter there. All right, let's see if we can try to take out this Sky's Clone Trooper before he dips on us here. Do this. All right, come on. Let's see. Do we have an AoE? We do not. Okay, we're just going to get rid of this guy's Clone Trooper before he gets away from us. And we should be able to finish him off. And we're at the finish line. You can clap. You can clap. Thank you. And we got it. Another 3.6 million in the bag. This is by far the most complicated out of all the teams out there because it's just so much RNG. I wish CG could buff, I don't know, the Oppo assist. We'd be able to make this so much easier. That's 3.6 mil in the bag. Look at that. Jumping up to number 1 on my guild's leaderboard. We're all tied for 15.3 million. Able to hit the highest tier. So I really don't need to have Hondo. I was thinking maybe I need like a pirate faction for the last team. Because I had 4 good teams. I was missing on the 5th. No, just split Tarkin into 2 and start bagging up those beautiful rewards. So when Hondo does come around, it's going to be nice having something to replace this RNG heavy battle. But if you got a little bit of patience, it's really the only battle that requires a lot of RNG. The rest of the teams have mild degrees of RNG, but this is by far the most. Getting the Sky's Clone Trooper to assist. It's all good because with these tips and tricks, you're going to dominate the Order 66 raid, my friend. And I hope you guys are going to be putting on millions and millions of points, or at least maybe down the road when you can do a Tarkin split, you could do so. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. And always remember, my friends, that it's great to be in the Empire today.